Hi everyone. Today we'll continue with fractions, and so this is grade 9 questions still. Grade 9. So we're gonna do order of operations with fractions. So we're gonna follow the rule BEDMAS: brackets first, exponents, division and multiplication, addition and subtraction. And this is the order that we have to follow. So we're gonna come to question number 1. The first thing we need to do is, again, try to reduce if we can. And reducing always is diagonally, or this way or that way, this way or that way, this way or that way. And also, we could reduce within the same fractions. So right here, I'm seeing 6/3, so I know that becomes 1, and this becomes 2. And we have a 2 on the bottom here. This 2 becomes 1, and this 2 becomes 1, because both of them divide by 2 here. Again, as I mentioned in my earlier lessons, that if you're multiplying, like here, those 3 things are multiplied. If you have an even number of negatives, your answer will be positive. So therefore, I have 3 times 1 times 1, 3 on the top, and 1 times 1 times 5, 5 on the bottom. So this is what I get, and I know because I have an even number of negatives, my answer is positive here. And then I still have plus the 1/5, which gives me final answer of 4/5. Now we come to question number 2. Order of operations here. I have 2 things that are multiplied here and 2 things that are multiplied here, and I have a plus sign in between them. So what I need to do is do this first and do this before I add. So I'm looking, when you're multiplying, you try to reduce diagonally or within the same fraction. I cannot reduce here. There's no factor or any number that I could divide by top and bottom that would reduce this. So again, I have an odd number of negatives, or negative times positive. The answer is going to be negative. So we're going to have negative. 3 times 1 is 3. 4 times 2 is 8. So this is negative 3/8. As I said earlier in my other lesson, that don't leave the negative on the bottom. Always put it right here or right in front, but don't leave it on the bottom. And also here, I could not reduce here either. So I just have to multiply. So I have plus, and this is going to be negative 5/18, because negative times positive here is negative. The next thing, when you have a plus and a negative number, these 2 signs here, they become negative. So always when you have opposite signs, try to write it as 1. So negative 3/8, positive and negative just becomes minus 5/18. The common denominator here is going to be 72. So when I find the common denominator, what I do, I go 72 divided by 8 is 9. 9 times negative 3 is negative 27. And then my minus sign. And then I go 72 divided by 18. That's going to be 4. 4 times 5 is 20. So I have 20 right here. And then my answer will be negative 47 over 72. I cannot reduce any further. So this is my final answer. Now we come to this. I think the first thing we have to do is what's in brackets. And in brackets here, I have an addition. So I'm going to do common denominator. The common denominator is 6. 6 divided by 6 is 1 times negative 5 is negative 5. plus 6 divided by 3 is 2 times 2 is 4 times -3/4. I'm just going to change this to multiplication and flip the divisor. So it's going to be 6/5. So -5 plus 4 is -1. So we have -1/6 times -3/4 times 6/5. I know my final answer is going to be positive since I have an even number of negative signs. So always if I multiply or divide, doesn't matter how many terms I'm multiplying or dividing, all I need to do is just count the number of negatives. If it's an even number of negatives, then my final answer is positive. If it's an odd number of negatives, then my final answer will be negative. And then I'm done with the sign, so my focus is to reduce diagonally. I could reduce this way, that way, this way, that way, but and also I could diagonally reduce, right, from this here to here and from here to there as well. So to make this easier, I think the 6 and the 6, they cancel each other out right away. So that's going to be 1, 1. And then I cannot reduce anymore. My final answer, as I said, is going to be 3/20. We have determined that the answer is going to be positive here. So I'm going to go to number 4. The order of operations here, I think the first thing we need to do is the division because it's inside brackets. So just give me 1 second here.